we go. Take after take back here. We're not saying take after take until April. I'm just letting you know that right now. Because we just call this March Madness. That's what we call it. March Madness. Because I won't say that it's, I guess in the grand scheme of just 3 weeks of sports, this is the best 3 weeks of sports in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Now, of course, season-wise, that could be debatable, whatever. But, man, it's March Madness, dog. You got your computer.
I have a computer bracket.
Yeah, you very fancy. You see this right here? I want that paper. I want the finest, what do you call it, jet ink on this. Man, I got, that's all you need. Right here. These right here. In a pen or a pencil piece of paper and a pencil. That's all you need, Patrick. You don't need no computer, man. You got to have the old school paper.
No, you have to have a computer and then you make stuff on the fly. I guess the big question is, how many brackets do you make officially?
Okay, so first of all you sickos out here that want to do 10 brackets, yeah, I'm talking to you. All of you. All of yous want all these brackets and stuff. I will be okay if you do 2.
2 brackets, okay.
Just do 1. But it's cool. I get it. Y'all doing 5, 6, or 7. Y'all really don't know who for real is gonna win if you're doing that. You don't believe you don't even believe in you don't have the courage of your convictions if that's the case. But yeah, you can do 2. That's fine. Like I always do for fandom reasons, no matter what, because I may or may not, I don't know if you've heard, I may have a rooting interest since a wee lad for a team in Durham, North Carolina. So I always, just for superstition, I always put them as the national champion when I know they have no business winning it, or if they, win it somehow, some way. But that's the only reason why I do a second bracket, just for the sheer craziness of my mind, just to put them just in hopes that they can find a way to make a run. But that's the only reason why. Normally I just do 1 bracket because that's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to roll with. How many brackets you doing?
I'm just doing 1. I'm not.
But you're really getting into it this year, like college football and college basketball. Like I feel like this is your foray into it.
Yeah, and I mean, myself, like a lot of Americans, I have only watched maybe 3 college basketball games this year.
Oh my gosh!
So now I'm an expert. But here we are. So the picks I give.
He about to say something crazy. Right. Field of 68 will officially tip off tomorrow. Playing games last night, Patrick. Playing games tonight. First 4 games. Big shout out to Alabama State. I know we are in North Alabama, so a lot of Alabama and Bulldogs will be like, man, what you say?
I'm about to say, yeah, it might be sacrilege.
Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you what I did last night. So, per NCAA rules, we can't show any video of the games like after the game. Some games, during the season you can. Yeah. But anyhow, we put the score up, and literally the first thing I said was, I come in peace. Alabama A&M Bulldog fans, alumni, those in the great area of Normal, Alabama, close your eyes, cover your eyes. But then, of course, we have a lot of Alabama State alums here as well. Yeah. They were very, very happy. Had someone text me as well asking about the game and will we give everyone a score. We indeed did that. That was a cool ending for that game. First ever NCAA tournament win for Alabama State. Congratulations to the Hornets. They will now prepare to be in Lexington, Kentucky. They're about to practice right now, actually.
What a way to end it, too.
It was awesome.
If that's a precursor for how the rest of this month is going to go.
Oh, you might as well just rip these things up now then. If that's the case. If this is what this is going to look like. So they're going to take on Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers, #1 overall seed in the South region in Lexington. But look, Field of 68 will have it complete, ready to rock and roll tomorrow. I'm just excited. The Thursday and Friday of the tournament, the first 2 days, I don't want to do anything. I do my best to try to just zero in on all these games and just take it all in. Listen, when you have players and stuff that you've kind of grown accustomed to and you've watched as they growing up, you want all of them to do well. So yes, I want Denver Jones for Auburn, and I want Mark Sears, and I want all of our coaches that have some sort of tie to North Alabama. Shout out to Bobby Champagne, an assistant for the Houston Cougars. We have a young man on that basketball team redshirting this year. So players everywhere. So you want them all to do well. But man, to be honest, I'm just numb to it all. I just sit back and I'm just watching. Whatever happens, happens. Unless you may be that team that I may have a rooting interest in Durham, North Carolina, when there are high expectations as they are this year.
Especially this year, yeah. There's not a lot of work going to be done the next 2 days.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would say that you do stuff regular during during the year.
That is very true. 'Cause I don't do nothing then. I mean,
Yeah.
look, it's 2:33. We just got.
You just showed up. So.
I just showed up. So there's that. Patrick, your impressions of the NCAA men's basketball tournament bracket.
I think there's going to be a lot of chalk this year.
Man, I am proud, dog.
See, look at me. Look, I'm learning college basketball.
Dog, I'm proud of you, dog. Man, I thought you was about to say, yeah, man, this 29 seed is about to win the national championship by 30 points in each of their games. I thought you were going to say something crazy.
I think if you were a fan of Cinderella teams, your time has come and gone. I think NIL is going to do away with that. Get ready to see the Dukes and the Michigan States and the Floridas of the world be there every single year going forward.
One caveat to that, though. I think that you'll see more upsets, and what I mean by more upsets, teams that you may not have grown accustomed to traditionally do well in this format in the tournament, win a game or two or go to the Sweet 16 or maybe an Elite 8. You'll see a team that go to the Final Four. You're like, man, how do they – and it's just because of what you just mentioned, NIL and the transfer portal. Guys that may not see the minutes that they saw maybe at the P4 level, whatever university they were at, transfer, you get a couple other transfers, voila, here you are. You're like, dang, man, I did not know insert university here had a basketball history or that much of one, and now they're in the Elite 8 or the Final Four. Well, it's just because, you got players from all walks of life across the country that are now on that roster. So I think you'll see more of that, but it's solely just because of the transfer portal this year.
If you see a guy who is a sophomore at a mid-major breakout in March Madness, he will be at a top 10 program the next year. Yeah. He'll be Walter 100%. Clayton from Florida this year.
100%. It was funny. Rick Pitino, who coached him when he was at Iona, literally said during a telecast during Selection Sunday that, he think about it, add Walter Clayton to that roster at St. John's. There's a whole lot of people that may be picking him to potentially win the national championship. But this year, listen, I love college basketball. Growing up in the great state of Kentucky, obviously it's Wildcat and Louisville centric. That's why I get a lot of hate because I have a rooting interest for the team in Durham. I say all that to say, I have watched so much basketball year in and year out and get so excited about the tournament. This is probably the first year since probably the late 2000s that I can remember off the top of my head that I'm like, man, I really legitimately see a cutoff between your 1 and 2 seeds and everyone else. Now, we could be completely wrong and an 8 seed wins the whole darn thing. But
there's one that might.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that 8 because it better be a good 8. That's all I'm going to say. I just think that this year, more than any year in quite some time, you're going to have – you should not be surprised if for the second time in the format that we have 4 number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament Final Four on the men's side. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying that I just really distinctly can see a difference between your 4-1s and your 4-2s. And then, maybe if you want to add a 3 or so here, but then the rest of the field, good, can win some games, can beat the ones, but can they truly, as I mentioned in our previous podcast, can they win 6 in 3 weeks?
Yeah. Do you want to take a little break here before we get into actual predictions?
Might as well pay a bill or two and then do that.
And then, we'll jump into some actual predictions. So stick around with us. Take After Take coming right back after the break.
We are back with another take after take. This is a March Madness edition. We talking ball, basketball. Producer Pat on the ones and twos.
I got a lot going on over here. I'm trying to buy a house, sell a house. My phone's going crazy.
Well,
I'm trying to get the computer here. I'm trying to watch all these screens. I'm confused about some of them.
America, what he's really trying to tell you, can't have money, boy. Boy, I hate you, big dog, boy. He got 4 phones over here. He over here talking about, I got this house and all that.
I feel like Adam Schefter or like, this is why Woj retired.
I ain't mad at you.
Too much going on. I can't do it.
Little bro, hold something. I just need $2.
$2. I need $2.
You got $2?
I need my sanity back as well.
Yeah, I hear you. But talk us through. First of all, congratulations, man. I know you go through that process. Is your lovely wife or your lovely bride? Is she the one doing really most of the heavy lifting? She is.
Is she watching? I don't know. If she's watching, yes. If she's not, she's helping. She's helping. Emotionally support. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, okay. I ain't trying to have you sleep outside today.
No, I ain't trying to sleep outside.
Okay, well, let's back to basketball because, man, we go into a darn rabbit hole with that.
We'll go down a rabbit hole.
Field of 68. You lead the discussion. I will follow behind what you want to discuss as we get ready for the first round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
The big thing that people from this area, Alabama, Auburn fans.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with Auburn.
Okay.
How far are they making it, do you think?
Final Four.
You have Final Four.
Let me send a PSA out to everybody. Everyone, I've been listening to the last couple of days. What's wrong with Auburn? Remember what I tell you? I said if they could lose the last 2 games of the year, and what did I say? They could lose the first game of the NCAA tournament. I said, what were they going to be when they did the selection committee?
Number 1 overall seed.
Number 1 overall seed. What was the lie? Number 2. Sometimes people get tired. I didn't say tired. I said tired. Some people get tired. You've literally went through a gauntlet of literally dismantling your non-con. You got 16 quad 1 wins relative to the NCAA net rankings. You've done all of the heavy lifting. I understand. No team has ever won the national championship with losing 3 of their last 4. Well, we've also not seen the Southeastern Conference or any basketball conference in the history of this sport ever be this dominant and this strong. You can separate the 2. All we can go by, Patrick, resume. What did you do in the regular season to give us the belief that you have an opportunity to win 6 games in 3 weeks? Auburn has done more than that. Forget about what I mean by forget about. Forget about a small sample size of 3 games. Now, you tell me that they lost by 15, 20, 25, then we need to have a discussion. All the teams they lost to. What does bracket tell me? Texas A&M, where they at? Where they at over here?
They are a 4 seed.
They're a 4 seed. What about the Alabama Crimson Tide? What about them?
They are a 2 seed.
What about the Duke Blue Devils? What are they?
They are a 1 seed, the number 2 overall seed.
What about the Florida Gators that won the SEC championship? Where they at?
They are 1 seed as well.
So help me. Y'all act like they lost to me, Patrick, a piece of bubble gum, and a bag of Lay's barbecue potato chips.
To play devil's advocate, though.
There you go.
Those are the quality of teams that they are going to have to beat to get to the Final Four or to win a championship.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if I'm Auburn, and I mean this with every fiber of my being, go play pissed off. Just go play pissed off. Just that's what the reason why we hold you in such high regard and high esteem is you got players. That's number 1. You got quality depth. You have a lot of tools in the toolbox, as I mentioned, for you to be able to navigate your way through a 3-week format in trying to win 6 games. You're the number 1 overall seed. Got all the love in the world for Alabama State, HBCU. Shout out to everyone down in Montgomery, Alabama, and all across the state of Alabama and beyond for that team to be able to play them. They're going to be a heavy favorite against Alabama State. They're going to be a favorite against Creighton or Louisville. I think that could potentially be a little dicey there, especially if it's Louisville. I know a lot of people have made a lot about Louisville, traveling 70-plus miles around my area to head to Lexington to play that game. But I just think, me personally, I have to go with the notion of all of the teams that I've watched this season, especially the Southeastern Conference. All we can go by is what we've seen in the regular season, Patrick. And I just have to say to myself, but above anything else, Auburn, the Floridas of the world, your upper echelon teams within that league are going to find a way to navigate to get to the second weekend. You got me once you get to the regional format in 2 weeks because everybody's good.
Yeah.
There is no team in college basketball, if you're in this field of 68, that you're not going to have to be quality teams to win it all. It's just what it is. You're going to have to be good teams. Auburn, we've seen personally Auburn's won 16 of those from a net ranking, however you may want to call that. Ken Palm, they've been outstanding. Only issue that I do have with Auburn, I will say, is I just believe they've kind of got a little slow in the old feet. Defensively, not been where I would love them to be since the beginning of the year. But I have to give them this excuse. When you've went through that type of gauntlet and played that hard for that long, it's okay. You can lose. Dude, they played 30-something games. You're going to lose. There is a reason why we haven't had an undefeated national champion since the late 70s in Bobby Knight and company. There's a reason why. UNLV was the closest to do it. UNLV and the Kentucky Wildcats in 2015, those have been the closest to, and they both lost in the Final Four. There is a reason. So, listen, Auburn, go play pissed off. Still walk that fine line that Auburn has done throughout the year with their edge, Chad Baker-Mazara, the whole crew there, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. I like them. I cannot, in good faith, not pick them to go to the Final Four. My only other team in the South region that I think that could maybe go to the Final Four and get that far, I like Michigan State as well. Love New Mexico. Y'all want to see two guards? Y'all go check out New Mexico and market that first game. Mr. Dent from New Mexico and Richard Pitino. Legit. But I look at the format, look at the bracket. I will just say my Final Four out of the South, it will be the Auburn Tigers, the number 1 overall seed that will cut the regional nets down to head to San Antonio in Atlanta.
So you like them over potentially a Michigan or a Texas A&M, whoever comes out of that side in the Sweet 16?
I do. Texas A&M, we mentioned, beat them on senior night in College Station. I think they won by 7. Texas A&M can flat out. I think they're the best offensive rebounding team in all of the country. We know that they've had their struggles shooting the basketball, but I love Buzz Williams. I love what that team is made of, Henry Coleman and company. But I think that if they played again, Auburn played them again, I think they come away with the win. Can I give you a little I guess it's an upset. It's a little Cinderella-ish. That's gonna go to Sweet 16. Shout out to my homie, my dog, Lenny Acuff. Lips was going to Sweet 16, y'all. 14 seed. Book it.
You got
I said it. I said it.
Lipscomb over Iowa State.
I said it.
Okay.
Iowa State, I love TJ Ossenberger and that group. Injuries are partly some of the reason why I kind of think this is a perfect style, perfect situation for Lipscomb to win a game or maybe 2. Give me Lenny Acuff and company. Sweet 16. I'm putting them down. 14 seed. They going to Sweet 16. In my opinion, coming out of the South. I just like what they got going on there.
So I have Sweet 16. I got Auburn playing Michigan. I have Michigan winning that game. I just think Auburn's running out of steam. I don't think they make the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
I'm not mad at it. I just want Patrick, there's just context in it. We can celebrate teams like Florida and Auburn and Duke and Houston, Tennessee, that have played exceptionally well. All we can go by for just a casual fan is just what you did in the regular season to put you in this situation. I've mentioned this before. The SEC this year, the Southeastern Conference, has 14 teams that made the tournament. It's the most ever. Prior to that, in 2013, when the Louisville Cardinals won the national championship, they had 11. One team made the Final Four, one team made the Elite Eight, 2 teams made the Sweet 16, Louisville Cardinals. So just because you've had an unbelievable dominant run within your league from the non-conference, your teams playing other teams, and then within conference, that doesn't negate how great you were in the regular season. It's hard to win a national championship in college basketball. Hell, it's hard to win them in any facet of sport. But with this format, when it's a one-game setting, the best, y'all, and I said y'all, the best team don't always win.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get this out of your membranes. The best team doesn't always win in college basketball because it's a one-off. You mean to tell me if I have a 7-game series for all these games that Auburn doesn't? Auburn's in the Final Four. Who in that league can beat them 4 times in that region? So that's the beauty of the conference of the NCAA tournament on the men's and women's side, and just a tournament format from the collegiate format, because it's just one game. A bad night could get you out of here. I just have to go by what I've seen during the regular season, your highs of highs and your lows of lows, and then to decide for myself, can you cut the nets down and win a national championship?
So you have Auburn going to the Final Four.
Yes, sir.
I have Auburn losing to Michigan in the Sweet 16. I have Michigan State coming out of the South.
Okay.
But let's jump to the east side of the bracket. One Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yes. I am highly concerned about the health of one Grant Nelson.
Yes.
You know, we were discussing it as they kind of hit the last quarter of the season. It was like, man, they're turning the ball over. They're not playing the type of defense they should be accustomed to playing, and they're not rebounding the ball offensively.
Yeah, and they weren't really that great on defense to begin with.
Correct. But here we are. We get to the last part of the regular season. Not only was there a Jared Stevenson sighting, who I think is the pro of pros on that team. Mark has been Mark Sears. But Grant Nelson has really come on. Cliff Amore, Diabate, those guys. It just seemed like when you watched the SEC basketball tournament, if you had an opportunity to watch that last weekend, man, you watched Grant Nelson prior to the injury, man, he was a guy that was really coming on the last 4 weeks of the year. And you really noticed it in the Auburn game in the regular season finale. But, man, if you could tell me that Grant Nelson is 100%, absolutely, Alabama can go to the national championship, win it, but definitely come out of this region and beat Duke. I don't know that. Duke going to the Final Four, y'all. Just going to throw that out there. Listen.
So as well.
Here's the deal. Cooper Flagg takes you over the top and takes you to another stratosphere. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. We know what he is capable of. We have watched this team, if you've been watching this team in just the landscape of college basketball the last couple of weeks, especially during the week of the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament, the ACC, they win it. They're deep. They have a lot of answers to your questions. They can score it. They play exceptional defense. They have all of the things necessary to win a national championship without Cooper Flagg. Now you add that joker in there. Probably doesn't need to play the first game. Probably is going to play the second game against the winner of Mississippi State and Baylor. And then I would assume, I'm just making assumptions from what John Shire, the head coach, has mentioned. He is going to be ready to play sometime in this tournament. Worst case scenario, you see him in the second game, but for sure in the regional format as they get to Newark, New Jersey in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're probably right. They have enough talent on their own. Cooper Flagg takes them to another level. And listen, Mr. Flagg, Cooper's dad, out there. If you happen,
don't do this.
No, I'm giving them advice.
Don't do this.
I'm giving them advice. If the Charlotte Hornets happen to get the number 1 pick in the draft, stay in Durham. Don't go.
Hey, bro, what
Don't
did Charlotte?
go.
Hold on. What did Charlotte do to you, sir? Charlotte hadn't done anything. You're a Memphis Grizzlies.
There you go.
fan.
Charlotte hasn't done anything. You heard right there. Don't go.
You ain't right.
Stay in Durham. Be a college basketball star. I have Alabama losing to Duke in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
I actually have VCU making it to the Sweet 16.
I have VCU in the Sweet 16 as well.
That's my little one Cinderella. But yeah, I think Duke just has too much.
Too much.
Both sides of the court.
Too much.
Doesn't matter.
Outside of, if you want to just discuss hot teams or teams that if the end of year means a lot to you, including games that really don't technically matter if you're a high seed, i.e. your conference tournament. The Duke Blue Devils are the only team not named Florida that are as complete and has played as well as they played without, especially without their stars.
And we'll go down. We have a lot of Tennessee Volunteer fans in the Valley. So Tennessee in the Midwest region, number 2 seed in that region. Where do you like the Volunteers? How far you see them going?
This is when it gets tough. I love Houston. I know you love Houston.
I do. However, I think I might surprise you with what happens to Houston.
Okay. I do have one question before we go between Elite Eight and then pick your Final Four. You have been a staunch supporter of a team from Athens, Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs.
I have.
If you do not have them winning a game or going to the Sweet 16, this is the last podcast we doing.
Well, I jumped off the Georgia Bulldogs bandwagon.
Man,
I jumped off.
what?
I didn't like it. I didn't like the tournament. I didn't like how it looked. However, that is the type of team that could make a run.
I agree.
2 dudes on the team.
Man, Asa Newell, man.
Asa Newell, Silas Damari, but they don't have much else other than those 2 men.
They can defend?
They can defend. I like Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's been underrated. They're an 8 seed. If you look at their advanced stats on the 8 seeds, it's kind of crazy that they are an 8 seed. I think they are going to beat Houston in the second round. I think they're going to beat Clemson in the Sweet 16, and they will face Tennessee in the Elite Eight and lose. Tennessee's going to the Final Four.
I agree. That's where I'm going. We've went back and forth with Tennessee about their lack of scoring or score. I just think they have enough. This is the first year in a while. Big shout out to Rick Barnes and his team and his staff. This is, for some reason, I don't know, you watch their games and, does Chaz Lanier knock down a couple of buckets? Does he not? Zakai Ziegler has just been exceptional his whole career. Igor there, stretch forward/center there has been great. I just think they have enough, Patrick. I just do. I just think that this is a year that I can see them going to the Final Four. And if they have to play a Houston group, I think they have just enough scoring to be able to come away with a trip to San Antonio. You mentioned Houston. I love them. Bobby Champagne, he is over there, former coach at North Alabama. His son, ironically enough, is an assistant over at the University of Louisville with Pat Kelsey, a student assistant there. But I like Tennessee. I'm going to pick Tennessee to go to the Final Four there. But there is no way in the world I got Gonzaga going to the Elite Eight whatsoever. What if I were to tell you that Georgia may go to Sweet 16? I ain't picking it. But I think Georgia's going to beat Gonzaga in the first round. I like Clemson to get to the Sweet 16, to lose to Houston. And I like Houston and Tennessee 1-2 matchup. I like the Vols of Tennessee to go to the Final Four. So you have Duke and Big Orange in one half of that Final Four.
And the way that my bracket's shaking out, Kentucky and Tennessee meeting in the Sweet 16.
Man, I wish Kentucky was healthy, man. So Mark Pope has done an exceptional job with literally forming a roster in 2 weeks, basically. Man, Butler is his shoulder is in and out. We don't know if he's going to play or not. How much he's available. He is tough as nails. Came from San Diego State, part of that national championship run for those guys a couple of years ago. I don't know. The problem is I just don't know what the roster. I don't know what they look like because they're just beat all the you know what. So I don't know how far they're going to go. I don't know if they can beat Troy, to be brutally honest with you. In the first round, Troy is really, really good. Scott Carlson does an exceptional job there with his group. I don't know. Here's the thing. No one in your bracket, folks, fans of college basketball, Patrick Akers, no one should be surprised if Kentucky loses their first game or they're in the Elite Eight with a chance to go to the Final Four. I just don't know. If you tell me that they were 100% healthy, oh yeah, Final Four. I'm cool with that. But injuries, man. I just can't count on that. Here's a team that I've always been intrigued about, the 6th seed Illinois. They just have not. They've been beat all to you know what as well. Could make a run, man. I really liked them the first couple of months of the year. I remember Alabama played them earlier this season in Birmingham. Listen, I think we've had 5 11 seeds since the inception of the first 4 that have reached the Sweet 16. I know everybody's hyped and high on North Carolina and what they did to San Diego State. What if Texas beats Xavier tonight?
That's, yeah.
They got a guy in Johnson there that can flat out go win a couple games for you. Who's to say Rodney Terry is bunch doesn't sneak on into those Sweet 16? I don't know. Something to think about.
I think this last region has a lot of my upsets.
The West?
The West, yeah, where Florida's the 1 seed. I think Florida's making it to Final Four. I think when you get down to the Elite Eight, it's going to be Florida and Texas Tech. But I think Arkansas makes some noise. I think Colorado State makes noise. I would not be shocked if Arkansas beats St. John's in the second round. I know you love St. John's.
Love St. John's.
But that Arkansas team got hot at the end of the season. Same way with Colorado State. They got hot. They could end up beating Maryland. But I think coming out of this region, the Florida Gators are just too much for anybody.
Everyone. The whole entire universe, intergalactic universe, all on the Florida Gators, rightfully so. They've been playing the best. They look the best. They're too big. They're too strong. They're too talented. They're too deep. They can score it. They have, I say it all the time, once again, tools in toolbox. They have a lot of those. They have a lot more answers to your questions than anyone else by the smallest of margins. I do not have faith in the courage of my convictions to pick who would win the game in the Elite Eight between St. John's and Florida. Man, I think St. John's is outstanding. And the way they have been manufacturing offense and shooting the ball from the perimeter has been exceptional the last 30 days. I do not have faith, strong courage, hammer it down that Florida can beat St. John's. I think they're a better team. I think they have better overall depth and talent per se. But, those jokers at St. John's can go get it. Rick Pitino's done an exceptional job there. I got those two as my Elite Eight. I'm going to give the slight edge to Florida. So I have Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Tennessee in my Final Four, Patrick. I will say if I had to pick a dark horse in that, not named Florida or St. John's, man, that is super tough.
Yeah, give me a Cinderella team. I have Gonzaga. If there's a Cinderella team, I think it's them.
To go to a Final Four?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, just to win 4 games in 2 weeks? In the whole bracket or just anywhere?
In the whole bracket. Just give me a Cinderella team that you think. You mentioned New Mexico. You like them.
Yeah, just because the guard play is so crazy. But I don't know how I feel. Mountain West teams, man, they have not played
is
well.
Missouri? Would that be like
love
one of these
Coach Gates in
second-tier SEC teams?
I love Missouri. Man, that is a great question.
You like Arkansas?
I think Arkansas can get to Sweet 16. I think they can beat St. John's. I think if push comes to shove. How about this though? Look at that bottom quadrant down there in the West. Kansas, Bill Self, Arkansas, John Calipari, Rick Pitino, St. John's. They're all playing in Providence. Rick Pitino coached at Providence. Won Billy Donovan, led them to a Final Four back in 88, 89. You want to talk about that place is going to be unhinged. Listen, that spot in Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. Man, look, if I could be one or two, I would love to be in Lexington, Kentucky right now, all the way through Monday. Because let me tell you something. All the adult beverages in Greater Lexington and Fayette County, all of them about to be gone. Auburn fans finna have a good time. Alabama State fans finna have a good time. Louisville fans finna have a good time. It is finna be popping up in Rupp Arena for sure. So that's if all the places I could go for the first round, it'd be there. But Patrick, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a Cinderella that I think legitimately can go to a Final Four, win basically just 4 games in the next 2 weeks. I'm telling you, man. For some reason,
the NIL has made it hard.
Yeah,
because all the mid-major stars are now either the third or fourth guy at an SEC
correct.
or Big Ten school, or they're coming off the bench somewhere. It's just tough.
Correct, because if I tell you that Walter Clayton is not on Florida's team, you're looking at them entirely different.
Oh yeah, he's played himself into a lottery pick.
He's a lottery pick, man. If I put Clayton Jr. On Louisville's team.
Yeah, it's a different story.
If I put him on St. John's team, St. John's is probably your favorite to come out of that West region, right? If I just put him on Houston,
yeah.
And listen, there's no knock against your play. We're just talking about the caliber of player that you're dealing with him. But this is just for some reason, Patrick. I'm going to go more chalk than I ever have before. In my recent memory of filling out a bracket and watching college basketball as a whole, I just think we're going to have. I just personally think we're just going to have more higher seeds in Elite Eights. You get a Sweet 16, that's one thing, but Elite Eights.
Yeah.
I just got Lipscomb. Literally is probably my only team that I really believe as a double-digit seed that I think that can make, just because of pace, style of play, what type of players they have, knocking shots down, slowing the game, bringing the game to their tempo. I'll just say that Lipscomb, I think, is the Cinderella for me to get to the second weekend.
I'll say VCU, New Mexico, Colorado State. Watch out for those.
I think Memphis with PJ Haggerty is still going to be. I like Colorado State. It's still going to be Colorado State. I know a lot. Patrick, a lot of people are on San Diego to beat.
Yeah.
I watched them play UC Irvine. I skimmed through that. They had a 7-footer there that was giving them a lot of problems. Michigan's got they got 2 of those. The Wolf kid they played at Yale who beat Auburn last year in the tournament. He's there. San Diego can score it. They are as trendy of a pick as McNeese State was last year, and now no one's picking McNeese State. And ironically enough, McNeese State could give Clemson all they wanted. Now I love Clemson. I think Clemson can get to the Elite Eight again for the second straight year. But I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You want to pick your national, give me your Final Four and pick your national champions. I know we got to get out of here.
Real quickly. I got Michigan State, Florida winning that one. I got Duke, Tennessee, Duke winning that one. Florida and Duke, 2-1 seeds. I got Florida Gators winning the national championship.
Auburn in the Final Four there, but I definitely love Michigan State. Michigan State is more than equipped to go to the Final Four. I love that's a great matchup between those two teams. Florida out of the West. In the East, the Duke Blue Devils. And in the Midwest, the Tennessee Volunteers. I got Florida. I got Duke in the national championship. And I think that Cooper Flagg will be the most outstanding player in the national championship game, Final Four weekend. The Duke Blue Devils, John Shire, cut down the nets in San Antonio.
There you go. And then Cooper don't go to the Hornets.
Don't do that, bro.
So there you go.
Don't do that.
Wrap it up. We got to go. We got to get out of here.
Like, subscribe to our podcast, condensed version today, because I was all over the place. Patrick's out here selling and buying homes for $50 million a piece.
I wish, not that.
Listen, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and wherever you can find any of our wherever podcasts are available, rather, you can find us. It's Take After Take, folks. We'll have this up and ready to go for you tomorrow as well. Listen, enjoy the weekend. This is the best weekend of the year. Tell your significant other, hey, fall back. Just for this weekend, I'll get my honey-do list and stuff together the next following weekend. Just sit in front of your TVs and watch these games and enjoy what we love to call the madness of March. It's going to be super, super fun for sure. We'll be back next week to discuss the Sweet 16 teams for the men and the women next week. But until then, for producer Pat, I'm Carl Prather. Enjoy the games. Do not rip your brackets up after the first day. You still got hope. We'll see you back here next week.